There's some words we don't use in this business. Perfect and guarantee. Those are like, those are flags. Flags go up when you say that.
Okay. Well thought out ideas, gentlemen.
Yeah. We don't really say...
Well thought out?
We think
I don't know
we-
about that. That's another one.
Emily here with Craft Truck on location today in Tom Adams' woodworking shop. We're here to talk to Jimmy O'Connell, Marine Coordinator.
Okay.
How did you start getting into the business?
Oh, tour management was my thing. So during these tours, I would have like 3 months off, 4 months off between tours, and I took up sailing. And I kept meeting people who were in the movie business, and they're going, no, we live at home. We go to the studio, and we get paid really well too. And so I was introduced to a Marine coordinator on a TV show called Baywatch. He says, what can you do for me? And I said, well, I think I can do your job for you if you want me to. And sure enough, he calls me up and he says, hey, I just took over a movie that's pretty colossal and big crew and stuff. It's called Waterworld. Can you be on a plane on Sunday? And this was like on a Thursday. So next thing I know, I'm the assistant Marine coordinator on Waterworld. We had 88 support boats. We had over 100 and odd picture boats. Picture boats are those boats that are built specifically to perform in front of the camera. We had every stuntman in town and woman on that movie.
There's one specific scene that I'm kind of thinking of that's a little crazy, and I don't know if you can maybe tell me how they did it. But the shot is underwater and they're being tethered down and they're waiting, and then they cut the rope and the jet skis fly out the top.
They had some real ace jet ski mechanics there, and they sealed the engine compartments to the jet skis, and they were jet skis from Kawasaki. And they used a small tank of air for feeder air, because you can't run a motor without air. So you have a combination of fuel, air,
Right,
spark,
and the jet skis
fire.
were on while they were underwater. Okay, yeah.
So all that is, it's pretty much planning. It's all about planning. So once you understand what it is the director wants to see, then you start working on trying to provide him with a platform, a picture boat or whatever that can do, in that case, the most ridiculous thing they were ever not designed to do.
Sometimes it's good to have accidents around the water, like if you are watching Piranha 3D.
You've checked my resume.
The entire film is just accidents. So
There's, I believe, 13 different agencies that had to write off on what it is we wanted to do and how we were going to do it. So I ended up having to deal directly with the chief of criminal investigation down there. You can only imagine, she's on the other end of the phone. I said, well, I've got 175 picture boats that we're going to string together, and then we're going to have this massacre. And then we have a floating stage which is going to topple over with
people on
approximately
it.
about 70 stunt people on it, something like that. Yeah. And they're all going to fall in the water, and then, we've got an enormous number of decapitations.
And she's like, go on.
She's like,
Tell me more. I think it's the very beginning scene with Richard Dreyfuss in the boat. Was that all effects, or was there some practical movement there?
So we take the boat, we turn it upside down, we put in attachment points. We take the attachment points and we have a little bit of line, rope or whatever, and it goes to a center swivel. And then we just start the movement going.
It's another very important scene in Piranha that the movie just wouldn't have been able to be made without it, is the glass bottom boat with naked ladies swimming underneath.
That was
I mean, I know that was probably really difficult for you to coordinate. Life of Pi, life of crazy, amazing film. How did you get involved with that? And
the Marine coordinator on that, his name is Rick Hicks. I assisted Rick in doing the research on the lifeboats and the ship. It was the lifeboat off the ship, which was pristine and clean, because the sailors would have taken care of it. And then there was the lifeboat that was in the water for the first part of the movie, for the first few weeks, and then slowly the lifeboat started to age. And then there was a secondary raft that could only be made out of what was inside the lifeboat, life jackets, oars, whatever. So going back to the beginning of the research with Rick, it was our job to determine what is in a lifeboat during this period of time, which is in the 1950s. The unique thing about Pi is that we had two specialty boats for the Tigers, and Rick assigned me to rehearse the tiger scenes with the animal wranglers. So on Saturdays, we would lock up this huge tank area.
There was a tiger? Like a real
There was
tiger?
four real tigers.
Oh, okay.
So animal wrangler would open up the cage, suggestively prod the tiger, who would jump into the boat, and because the person down below had a little piece of meat, tiger would go down into its cage. They would close the cage, we would come back out, we'd grab our lines, and we would pull the tiger out into the middle of the tank. And then we would set up little platform boats on either side of it, and the animal wrangler would go through the paces of the animal
Movement
roaring
or...
and doing its thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did that every Saturday for 6 weeks.
Just another day in Jimmy's life, you know, hanging out with tigers in a boat. Thank you so much for taking the time, Jimmy. This was awesome.
Appreciate it.
And Tom, thanks so much. If you can swim and you don't need a lifeboat, you should still subscribe to our channel.